Welcome back, folks, to the CCG. Excuse me, I already getting jumbled in my words here. Official broadcast week number 2 of the ACL, and congratulations to the boys for CCG. They picked up their first game win of the season. Unfortunately, though, K-Man, you got to make it more than one to get a match week win.
I mean, fortunately for us, though, because we get to see another game. But if it's anything like the last one, it will definitely be full of action. I don't know if I'm going to be able to predict everything again, though. I think that might have been a one-time thing. I'm not usually a prophet, but maybe we run it back. I don't know. If Rel's picked, then I'll maybe I'll do it then, but only if Rel's picked.
We're still looking out for that beautiful Rel, but to get to that point, K-Man, we are gonna have to go back to another set of drafts for our game number 2, and we can set it right over. Let's jump right into this game number 2 draft. The one thing you'll notice right off the bat once we get on over there is the fact that CCG are in fact not on the blue side this time, K-Man. It is going to be Redacted with that coveted first pick.
Yeah, they decided that they wanted blue. I'm assuming they were not happy about having to give over Aphelios B1, or maybe they have something else that they'd rather B1 themselves. But judging by the fact that it was Aphelios that was B1 the first time, they just put a really high prio on it for disrespectful. So super possible. But from knowing what I know about Rockboom, he can play pretty much anything, so I don't think CCG's too upset about being red side, and in fact maybe happy about having counter pick for Topo. So we'll see. Technically, I was gonna say I don't think we're gonna see the Poppy not banned, and it instantly is ban number 2 there for them. But they're keeping the Olaf ban on the other side. Do they ban the Aphelios themselves? That's the question we gotta ask ourselves.
Interesting angle. Redacted in their spot ban Zeri. So
yeah.
Zeri Aphelios. They do actually take away Nico. So the Red Side is respecting the Nico tech 2 games in a row by this point, which is very, very intriguing. But it's interesting when you talk about back to game number 1, right? You B1 Aphelios first for Rockboom, but Rockboom wasn't really the star of the show or really a part of even the scripture, I feel like, until that final fight. We heard nothing from that Aphelios until that final fight. So how much does that weigh in the minds of Redacted? Well, they're already banning away Poppy because it seems like they were most scared of Topo.
I think they went, wait, Topo plays Poppy. How did we not know this? Which, by the way, there's no way they didn't know it was Poppy top, now that I think about it.
If they did their homework, like they should have.
Yeah, which also begs the question then, why pick the R4 when you could save your mid lane counter pick for R5, knowing that it's a high likelihood that it's going to be Topo on the Poppy. It seems strange to me. I understand it was technically a flex, but knowing it's Topo Poppy, I think that would have been a smart play to R4 the top lane, because you get double counter pick that way technically.
Yeah, we talked about the top lane, though, because the bottom lane is the feature of the game 2 draft so far. Zeri gets through for disrespectful. It's immediately answered by Rockboom's Draven. And, K-Man, if we didn't get to talk too much about Rockboom in game number 1, I feel like we're going to be screaming his name out in vain or in happiness.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be spoken about a lot, for sure.
Yes.
And then Vi. I love Vi. I think that champion is lit. I think he's really strong right now, especially against something like the Zeri. Just easily lock it down. Honestly, not even bad against Janna, considering you are unstoppable.
But cease and desist.
But until you're level 6, Janna keeps that Zeri very, very safe.
It was funny. I'm not that great at the game of League of Legends. That's why I'm sitting here talking about it. But I did play good old fashioned game of League where I had a Vi go like full crit Essence Reaver, like Eclipse, and just absolutely like one shot anybody, and also is just sneakily tanky. Am I saying that Hype NA is going to do that exact silly build path? No, I'm just saying if it happens, I told you so.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I'm confused from Redacted because Vi, like they pick Vi and then they pick Janna, which isn't notably like an amazing answer to Vi, and then they pick Maokai, which is also notably not a great answer to Vi. True. So those two picks kind of confusing to me. They're also not like absurdly good into Draven either. Yeah, I don't like Redacted's draft like kind of at all right now. But then Pyke for the Draven lane.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna be honest with you here, Slayer.
All right.
I'm gonna say I know a lot about League of Legends, but I can say I don't remember the last time I saw Zeri Janna versus Draven Pyke. So I'm not super comfortable in analyzing that matchup just yet. This will probably be a first for me. I'd assume it's a great Draven Pyke lane advantage.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. I haven't seen it. But theoretically, I think CCG's draft is pretty lit right now.
Yeah, K-Man, for me, I'm just getting hyped up to call these skirmishes for CCG, because if this is a fed vibe from Hype NA that's cease and desisting in the back line, and then you have Detro just coming over top, or I guess from below, with Pyke, it could be some very crazy multi-kills. So that could be a very powerful combination. We've already seen CCG are all gas, no breaks when it comes to those skirmishes. So
this is a great skirmishing comp.
It's a great skirmishing comp. Well, while we were drooling over the potential bottom lane matchup, we've gone through an entire phase of second bans, and no surprises here. It's mid laners across the board. Silas already taken away by Redacted, and Yone and Kiana taken away by CCG. But the first lock in that second stage of picks is good old reliable Ornn in the top lane for Topo. So no Poppy, but no. I mean, Ornn can do a lot of what Poppy does as well.
Yeah, I love the way CCG has done this, because knowing that they have the R5 pick, they get rid of not only 2 mid laners for themselves, but they also force out 2 mid lane bans on the other side. So that's 4 mid lane bans, like 4 mid laners out of the pool, and you're gonna narrow that down so that like your counter pick becomes like so much more valuable, because they basically got rid of a lot of the pretty safe, I would say, what is it called? Oh my god.
Safe selection or safe counters?
No, the blind picks.
Blind picks, yes.
They got rid of a lot of the safe blind mid laners.
Right.
And it looks like they messed up on their pick here. But it is going to be a Jace. Ooh. Now, technically flexible, depending. So they like Jace and Gwen can be flexed into the solo lanes here, but probably still going to be that Jace mid. But yeah, you got the pick of the litter pretty much in terms of, I don't know Raiders champ pool per se, but Syndra, great pick.
You know, it's funny. I feel like we've all taken a stroll down League Reddit before, but one time I was taking a stroll. I promise this doesn't get bad. I was taking a stroll, and there was a conversation being had about what's the last champion you remember that was perfectly retuned or reworked, and a lot of people said the new Syndra, and I actually really like that answer. I'm a big fan of how they've kind of given her a scaling aspect. I love the shard system, and people who don't love the shard system is AD carry players, because now once Syndra hits 100 shards, Unleashed Power executes under 20% HP, which basically means if you are disrespectful in this matchup, you get hit by one Syndra ability and good old radar hits R on you, you quite literally don't get to play the game.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting decision by Riot, because the biggest thing I think people really hated about Syndra was the outplay button, right? Press R True. And instantly one-shot someone.
They did make it worse.
They didn't get rid of it, right? Like, if anything, they made it even better against tanks now too. Yeah. But they lowered her other ability to just kind of insta one-shot early game at least. So she does take a little more skill to kind of ramp up. So you're still gonna get hit by the outplay button, but not until a few minutes later. So
true.
You gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of that Syndra. So we have all the comps locked in regardless here, and I think the thing that screams out to me, K-Man, is the league big insider. He's got the, you just saw him predict a game of League of Legends. I don't need to tell you
I just predicted the entire game of League.
What screams out to me, K-Man, is CCG want to win this game before 25 minutes, and if they're not winning it or very far ahead by that point, it gets a little sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, at a certain point, Ornn won't be able to split against Gwen. Jace will just be one-shotting everybody with an EQ from 5 miles away. The control that they have around objectives with Maokai is pretty huge, and Zeri, even if Vi ults on top and they layer everything perfectly, Janna should just be able to have enough healing and shielding, and Zeri will have enough damage to burn through them before she dies. So yeah, like theoretically, as the game goes on, it should be pretty good for Redacted. But you also have to look at the side of CCG and say, well, they've also got their ornaments coming in, right? Ornn items will come in. They'll be a lot stronger item-wise. Draven will just auto-attack anyone twice and, deal half their HP per auto. Pyke will definitely fall off a bit, but he'll never be useless. Syndra obviously scaling well with shards. Vi falls off a little bit, but again, we'll still always be able to one-shot. And Ornn is Ornn. He's a tank, assassin, support, mage, all in one. Baby. So honestly, they want to win early, but I think from what we saw last game, even if they do go later into the game, like they're not, I think, we talked about the scaling options last game between CCG and Redacted, where Redacted didn't scale nearly as well as CCG did, and CCG like scaled super well. I think this is a game where it's the roles are reversed, but in the way of like CCG scales a little bit better this game than Redacted did last game. So I think they're fine going late. It's just going to be hard for them to react to the Gwen split push. And with the ability to set up objectives like Maokai and Jace can do, because you literally just can't walk up just because of saplings and Jace poke.
Right.
Gwen should just be able to like run down a side lane, and either CCG is going to have to force a fight they don't want to take, or they're going to lose their base. So all said and done, it's a coin flip. That's where we came to the conclusion. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, you hear that, guys? CCG, Redacted, your coaching staffs, your analysts. You did all this work, prep for this week 2 matchup, and we're actually just going to take a live feed of our producer, Gurf. He has a coin ready, and he's just going to flip it on camera. Heads or tails, ladies and gentlemen. That's if we're going to game 3 or not. No, all jokes aside, we get a little bit longer to look at these matchups, and it kind of feels like we do have weird matchups you don't always see, right? You talked about the last time you saw Draven Pyke versus Zeri Janna. It's kind of like a matchup you don't ever really want to draft yourself into if you're the Redacted side, because you camp and turret. But Jace Syndra, I mean, it definitely happens, but that doesn't happen too often either. I mean, I try to think of how I would play that matchup. Also, by the way, not good at League of Legends. So, K-Man, how would you play this matchup, Jace versus Syndra?
Yeah, well, like recently is where Jace has kind of started coming into the mid lane role a bit more, but he almost used to exclusively be a top laner. Randomly, he'd be flexed into the mid lane, but he was almost always having better matchups in the top lane just because of that ranged melee matchup that he could almost always get. Whereas control mages used to be way stronger. Assassins in the mid lane used to be way stronger. So you couldn't really just pick Jace because you would just lose too hard early and you'd never be able to scale up. Jace is a lot better in early now, and those champions that used to be really good into him in the mid lane, not so prevalent at the moment. So we see more of that Jace Syndra matchup, and I think this is one of those where jungle is going to matter a whole lot more than normal when it comes to mid lane. I think in the recent metas, we've seen a lot of priority around playing for top, playing for bot. We've seen a lot more mid laners just playing for roam, shove and roam, play with your jungle, play for Herald, play for Dragon, play for diving the side lanes. This is a matchup where it can be super volatile for whichever one gets ahead. Like if Jace is behind, like Syndra can really just run him over and not only have permanent prio, but like even if Jace tries to roam to help his team, he'll be useless. So he might as well just stay in the lane. I think this is a matchup where you say, if you're Fly, you're like, all right, honestly, just 3 camp Like, right, Redacted's red side have Maokai just red Krugs Raptors flash mid, get the Syndra either 1 HP, burner flash, possibly get a kill if you play it perfectly, or at least the pressure will allow Jace to not feel like he's in kill threat from the Vi. And then on the vice versa, I think, you know, CCG can say like, well, they probably want to get Jace somewhat ahead, so we could just counter that really easily. Because if you look at any of these matchups, pretty much, yeah, even top lane, CCG win 2v2 and 3v3, right? So like Vi wins 2v2 top and mid and the 3v3 bot. So it's kind of up for Maokai to play away from Vi at all times.
Right.
And it's up for Vi to play wherever Maokai is at all times. So it'll be a game of chicken between the junglers, and just the fact that as much as Maokai wants to help mid, God, he has to help bot. Because look at this.
Yeah,
Draven Pike.
Yeah, it's going to be chaotic to really track Mr. America. And you just saw Coach K-Man come out in full force there to predict nearly how all these lane matchups could go if we had enough time for it. But we got to see how it plays out. So we're going to go to another short break here. But on the other side, game number 2, CCG versus Redacted in the good old ACL. Stick right with us. Welcome back to the good old Summoner's Rift, game number 2. CCG on that red side, but they're still keeping up that good old-fashioned bot lane cheese, K-Man. Don't got a Nautilus hook to play with, but Detro still got a hook to use. And it'll lead the pack, just like game number 1.
This is definitely not a game where, like, if you know CCG is going to do that, if you watch their games, right, and they do that often, this is not one where you're wanting to try to 5v5 them down there. Draven, Pike, Syndra, even Ornn, for what it's worth, can pump out some really damning early damage. And you don't want to get this Draven Pike ahead before like the game even starts. They're already going to be strong. You don't want to bolster their strength for fun.
Yeah, that would be far from fun. It would be it could be potentially the end of the game, depending, because of how big of a early game comp is set up here for CCG, who are eyeing their first win in ACL, and honestly, they've been undefeated not only with the old Slayer K-Man setup here, casters. But they're also so far undefeated with their full roster actually playing. So hoping to carry that over to a series win.
Yeah, I'm looking at these starts. I am down to report Vi. Had their top laner leash for them, but to be fair, they did smartly make it so that Rock Boom came late, so that maybe they think Rock Boom was helping leash, but they also saw Pyke sitting in the bush, so like the odds that they were actually leashing bot is pretty unlikely. Like maybe they're doing some crazy, the flash.
Oh my god, flash already out the hook, but throws him back under his own turret. Detro a little too saucy there. It does get the flash out of disrespectful though, so you'll trade support flash for ADC flash 11 out of 10 times.
Oh, Mr. America.
Mr. America's here now too. Good knockup on that Nado from Unless. Yeah, doesn't want to commit just yet. And Rock Boom is laying down the land of the law with these empowered Qs. Lane going exactly how you expected so far. There's the heal already out from Unless, trying to keep himself safe. The flash root, though, throws Rock Boom under the turret, but now NA is here, and they might have Mr. America cornered. First blood over to the Vi.
Wow, Syndra roaming down as well. It's looking grim for the side of Redacted.
We're not done, K-Man. The teleport coming out, but is it too late? Rock Boom already picks up one kill. Fly shows up for the trade, gets an execute on a Rock Boom. What the hell is going on? The skirmishing kicking off so early. Now Fly all alone. It's an auto attack fight with Radar desperately waiting for cooldowns to come back up. Scatter the weak. 2 more autos should do it, and Radar picks up the kill onto Flea. Mr. America shows back up to find Detro. Once all the dust finally settles, it's 4 kills to 2 in favor of CCG.
So, not only is it 4 kills for 2, but it's now a TP advantage mid lane, and not to mention, who do you want? Like, even if it were even in kills, Draven got a kill. Draven's coming back with a Sheen and 2 longswords. Zeri's coming back with boots. And a lost chapter for Syndra, and a tier for the longsword for the J. So if you're looking to see who comes out ahead in these type of things, it's definitely CCG.
Flea has no sums up. So this is an easy hook into the scatter of the week, into the stun. It is poetry on the rift. And NA might be caught out now, though.
Wait a minute.
The route across. Narc is the first one to come. Snip, snip. See you later. So Hype is punished on the invade. CCG trying to get one back, and now Topo might be on the wrong side of things. He has the cavalry coming. Radar and Detro over the wall. Can this Orange survive? Yes, he can. Scatter the weak. Snip, snip. Not enough. Topo limps away. The stun comes across, but there's no abilities up, and it might just be for Narc to trade it out, but it's a Radar who picks up his rampaging kill at 5 minutes.
So, Syndra, remember we talked about a certain lane in aka mid lane is going to be really, really rough if one of these players gets ahead? Yeah, I think...
I remember us talking about how Syndra got nerfed a bit because her early game isn't as strong.
Yeah, she's got a lost chapter and a blasting one and a tier at 5 minutes in the game.
Just sprinting down to Eluden's buy, which will make things even worse.
Yeah, so if it wasn't already slightly Syndra favored in this lane, it definitely is now.
Surely Redacted's team fares well with a snowballing comp against them.
Surely.
Right? Yes.
Surely. You know, it's okay because Zeri has boots. So she's going to be able to dodge these Pyke hooks a lot easier. She's going to be able to run out of range from Rock Boom a little easier.
If you guys can't tell,
K-Man, 4-man bot, by the way.
K-Man's trying to be very nice, by the way.
I'm trying out here.
He's trying, but so is CCG trying to get their first series win. And yeah, they're just continuing this bot lane pressure. Hype and A has felt as comfortable as possible in Mr. America's jungle all game long. But here we go with the big early 4v4. Flea gonna jump on Radar, but they're just gonna burn Hype and A down first. Disrespectful will pick up that kill. Flea will be the trade, unleash power to pick up Radar's 5th kill of the game. There's a huge slow though.
There's the ghost.
Ghost pop. Huge scout of the week to return though. Make sure that Radar stays safe with that bajillion bounty he's got, and it ends up going 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was looking a little scary. I thought that 500 gold bounty might go over to Disrespectful, but I mean, the Syndra's just too strong. I mean, right now, only 200 gold off of that Luden's buy. I'd assume they're gonna stay in lane to try to get that level 7 to level 5 in the mid lane, and oh god, it's disgusting. He just came back to lane and he's less than half HP.
Yeah,
Slayer.
Radar just picked up his first shard upgrade as well, so double the Qs, double the spheres.
Oh no, it's double Dark Sphere.
Yep. So things are getting from bad to worse, but there are a few things that's fun to me is watching high-level Syndra play. Does miss Scatter of the week though, but yeah, Flea is surrounded. You have to jump forward. Can he get the trade? Flea with the shutdown. Upgrade Flea to fly. As he grabs that one. So that is a 1-for-1 that is certainly good for the Redacted side.
I mean, Radar, buddy, I understand. You're strong, but it's still a Jace. And I think Radar wasn't expecting the Jace flash to be up the 2 seconds before his own was. So that could have been the slight difference there. But an absolutely massive pickup here for Flea. No, sorry, Fly on this one.
Fly.
Yeah, but as much as that helps, there's no helping this Zeri right now.
Yeah, no, there's the hook landed, automatically dash away from Disrespectful. Here comes Hype NA trying to wrap around, but it is canceled. Lightning Crash comes out, cease and desist, dropped on Mr. America's head, flashes galore. Deetro on the front line, misses the hook, and everybody waits in the wings. Lightning Crash pass him, still flying for Disrespectful.
Oh my!
Flash Q forward. Oh my! Rock Boom showing out, claims Mr. America, and now oh boy, Fly might just get a D rank down to Flea. Radar says yes. Rock Boom still frontlining with no care in the world. He has Lethal Tempo up. He's just chucking these axes with no care in the world. The 4-man dive. It's all CCG. Double kill over to Hype NA.
And look at top lane, so peaceful. My god, the double scatter the week under the turret as well. Rock Boom just laying outside of the turret range. Lethal Tempo proc, just getting 300 damage auto attacks off every 2 seconds. I mean, just I said there was no helping the Zeri, and then they went to try to help the Zeri, and then 4 of them died. And so I just, but to be fair, who do you even play around at this point if you're the Maokai? I mean, it's a Divine Sunder Revive versus a blasting one. The Maokai at this point, they're just completely outgunned right now for Redacted, and they don't necessarily have a good way of getting those guns back.
Okay, man, I'm a man of hot takes, but I'm not crazy, right?
Let's hear it.
So I'm not going to sit here and say the CCG are now the best team in ACL. But what I will say is I don't think there's a team with a better early game aggression strategy than CCG. If you're going off the last 1 and 4th games we've seen, they just know how to play so well in the first 15 minutes of game.
You know what? Judging by this game, this might be 1.5. All right, buddy. Let's.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I mean, this is like a 6K gold lead at this point at 10 minutes. You've got Mythics done on Radar, and you already mentioned Hype NA's one as well. And there's an Essence Reaver BF sword on Rock Boom. I like to stay unbiased and look at the positives, but it's just all negative for Redacted right now. And now the next victim may just be Narc. A 4-man dive. Gwen is pretty hard to lock down. Needlework does come out. Hasn't dropped just yet, but Deetro with depth from below will pick up one. Mr. America there for the trade. Should be all he should pick up. Rock Boom is in between 2 enemy turrets, and he finds his killing spree kill. So I have no idea what to make of that.
I guess Ornn died somehow. Yeah.
Ornn died. What?
Yeah, it must have been a turret shot. Well, I think he was tanking, And then the Maokai ult rooted him under turret when he wasn't expecting.
Right, Radar?
Unless.
All right. So
4 levels down, by the way. A QR killed him.
He's trying to 2v1. There's lightning crash out. Didn't get the Q off. Does have to flash away. Unleash power, not enough to slay. Unless just yet. Ooh, another scan of the meekness.
Oh, Detro. He's got ult.
Fancy
no, he
footwork.
doesn't. I lied.
Does not. Ghost Flash was available for Disrespectful as well. So just posturing.
Sure.
There's the next shard upgrade coming across for Radar. So
oh, God.
True damage on that W. Should be fun. Yep. Good old force of will. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, folks. CCG are very much just running away with this game. There's not much more to say.
14% true damage for fun.
Hey man, he earned that with shards, all right? You leave him alone.
That's true. That's true. You can't. You gotta give credit where credit is due. You know.
You know, they might not be the best early game team. Actually, they might just be the best to dive. Well, they kind of failed that last.
They're the best at, for lack of a better term, putting their meat on them, dude. They just say, you know what? I don't care if this is a good play or not. We're going for it. And
here they go again. Cease and desist out. Disrespectful. Able to flash away from the whirling death, but there's a lot more in that package. Hype A on a rampage.
I mean, like I said, meat has been placed. That's all I gotta say. Like, just 3-man dive the tier 1, go through the tier 2, like for fun. Like, why not? We got them. They're dead. No setup, no vision control beforehand. Just, oh, it's there. Go for it. Cool. Boom.
Yep.
And it just keeps working.
Yeah, it's working to the tune of a 9.5K gold lead, folks, at 13 minutes. So, if you guys were like worried, you're like, oh, I really want to get a game of League in before like bedtime, but I really want to watch the CCG series. I can confidently tell you we're ending early.
Yeah. I think the 3,800 gold lead for Draven right now, respectfully, against Zeri it's a bit much. It's about 40% of their actual gold lead in the entire game. He has 2 items at 13 minutes, and those are not cheap items, by the way.
That's a mythic. Oh, yeah.
That's not like, you know, Umbral Glaive plus like Yomu's or something. Like that's.
Well, Yomu's is expensive now.
Well, it's time. All right. Well, let's say Umbral plus. I don't know. Umbral plus anything used to be hella cheap.
True. That is a fair point. Nothing cheap about this performance from CCG. They're now set their sights away from kills. They're still averaging a kill a minute, if you're worried. They will pick up that
worried. I was. Thank you.
First Ocean Drake. Here they come. Okay, man. They're gonna try it again. Detro will find that hook on unless 1Q whirling death. See you later. Rock boom on a rampage.
Wait a minute.
Oh, here comes the trade though. Mr. America knocks it right back towards the turn and says, "How you doing, big guy?" Good shutdown over to Redacted.
Can we just talk about how the fact that a Draven who's up 3,800 gold against their counterpart only had a 400 gold shutdown is that's kind of sus, no?
Well, I think he died. These 2 deaths came pretty close to each other. I think.
Oh, yeah. Wait. No, his first death was an execute.
Oh, that's true. He's also
this
up
game is so
31 CS.
Oh, blue buff stolen.
Hold on. Yeah, blue buff stolen. Nature's Grass, though, will log down and eliminate Hype NA. So here comes Redacted. They've got Raptors surrounded on all sides as well. What's going on? Flea back up to fly. Get that kill on the radar. Actually, I don't know if it garners the upgrade.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like he's kind of like fluff now.
Ooh, but here comes the call. Forge God knockup lands. Double knockup trouble. Topo announcing himself. And down goes Flea.
So it would not be a CCG game if the 3 people with massive shutdowns didn't just randomly die for free. That would not be a true CCG game, okay?
Doesn't matter which side those 3 shutdowns are on, by the way. Game 1, it was Redacted. Now it's
gonna
CCG's
happen. And Mr. America is sitting on 2K now. Gonna be able to get that demonic embrace. We'll see if they opt into the tankier build or the damage build. They don't really have a whole lot of frontline, so I'm assuming I would hope to see a Radiant Virtue, I think, here. It's a little cheaper. It actually did receive some buffs that I'm a fan of. But right now, I mean, keeping up with CS, honestly, I gotta give it to Mr. America on this one. This game was looking incredibly doomed, and he's kind of made it look a little like less doomed.
Still very doomed though.
Like completely doomed for sure, but like
yeah,
less doomed.
Yeah, this has been I mean, hey, we're repping CCG right now, so it's good times for the crew as they finally get their full roster to play in the ACL with their first group game as well, and they are showing out in droves so far. Taking the macro approach by this point, just knocking down those tier 2 turrets they can find.
Not my CCG.
Cruising. Not my CCG. Well,
I'm playing macro.
CCG,
that's not my CCG.
This CCG has a 11k gold lead the way they're playing, but ooh, here comes another Nature's Grasp. It is the big runaway for HypeNA. Flashes out distance of Nature's Grasp, but no lockdown from Narc, so Device survives once more.
Yeah. Also, I think it's notable to state that if you are a Syndra with a second item Seraphs, and you already have your Sork boost completed, and you haven't even gotten enough tier stacks to have it completed, you're probably pretty strong. Like, this guy's had 300 stacks on his Seraphs because he's so fed that he was able to buy it. Like, he had enough gold before even, like, getting the stacks. Like, he's had this tier for a while, too. Like, he's just that fed. And he has a needlessly large rod.
Oh, God, yeah. This is scary. I mean, hey, I appreciate Radar. He's going to make my job look easy. Here's how team fights go, folks. Radar, Scour the Weak lands, and everybody's dead. So that's
no mention of any other spells. It's just
Scour the Weak and Unleash Power.
Dead. It's honestly at this point, who does he want to make feel worse by using his ult on them?
Yeah. Speaking of ultimates, we might have HypeNA drop cease and desist. Flea caught out in his own jungle. Another kill going over to CCG, jungler as they drop good old-fashioned Herald and are really starting to show off the macro plays. Get a pick, drop Shelly, pick up a turret, but Redacted might not want to give it up for free here. Nature's Grasp out, but oh, Mr. America, you are all alone, my friend, and soon to be executed. Topo to find that one. HypeNA making sure Disrespectful stays away, and CCG continue their absolute slaughter down the line.
Well, bot turret goes down too, so that's fun. And dragon spawning in 15, so that's also fun. And this is going exactly how we assumed it would continue to go. They gave over some shutdowns, but now they're back up in a 15,000 gold lead casually at 19 minutes, almost 1,000 gold per minute. So that's fun.
Radar's here to fight. By the way, that last fight was without Radar, so...
Yeah, that was without their arguably... It's technically the second strongest member, but with what a Syndra can do in a team fight, strongest member.
Yeah. Baron soon to be up as well. They get a Chemtech Soul as well, just in case you needed even more scary sights for Redacted fans. They don't get Cloud, they get Chemtech. So.
You know, I gotta give it to I'm gonna give him the fly on this one. He's up 9 tier stacks. Oh, and he just upgrades it. He won the upgraded tier item race. So again, you gotta find the silver linings in games like this.
Yep, that's a fair way to look at it. I do want to point out to all the viewers, we were told prior to this game that Fly and Flea, the mid laner for Redacted, how he's playing is how he's supposed to be called. So if he's playing well, he's Fly. If he's playing bad, he's Flea. And you've seen how this game has went. It's very likely going to be Flea down the stretch here.
Pyke's playing a little aggressive here.
Yeah, Detro still slippery though.
Doesn't matter.
Drop right into his own little safety pool. Dashes right out. Just scouting. Okay, man, just scouting.
Yeah. Okay. JCQ did 25% of his health.
Oh, and there's Unleash Power, but no execute just yet.
14 more stacks.
Upgrade. 14 more stacks, so Flea is able to survive. Topo getting all that he can handle with Narc. It has to flash over the wall, but all is a distraction because Baron is the real calling for CCG, and Detro still continuing to be a pest. does get rooted. Good scout of the week, though, from Radar to keep his support healthy. Whirling Death nearly claims Mr. America. There's Lightning Crash, and diving forward is Hype-NA. Has to go gold, but here's Radar to finally come online. Huge call to Fourth God. Radar picks up 2 kills in an instant. CCG have their eyes set back onto Baron Nashor.
Is that just mirrored? Did ViQ knock Gwen over the wall? I don't even know, but they don't have a jungler. They don't have Smite, but neither does Redacted. And I think they're gonna have to give it up. Yeah.
There's just nothing they can do. I mean, they're down so gold by this point, and they've lost 2 members, had to reset. Baron for free as CCG continue to just trudge along. And here's the Syndra gameplay moment, folks. Full combo minus the ult. Does not matter. Flea dies once more.
Huh. Ain't that something? You know what? He got outplayed. What can we say?
Yeah, outplay moment. There's not much more to line up around that one.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for highlight plays by this point. I mean, they've got to know they're up so much. They got to go for some fun things.
I need a penta. I need somebody to get a penta, or else I'm not going to be like. It's honestly a loss if they don't get a penta on someone.
It's honestly a loss.
I got to give it over to Redacted. If they go this whole game without giving up the penta, it's actually kind of a dub, no?
Well, the dub here again for CCG is that Unleashed Powers upgrade came through. Radar.
Oh, 100 shards we go.
So basically, if Radar hits a Q on somebody and then right hits R on them, they will die.
You know, I'm starting to think, without Vedias, he doesn't even need the Q. Let's see. Let's see if he tests it.
There's Scatter of the Week. W over top. That's everything without Unleashed
Oh!
Power. There's a different ultimate to come across. Rolling Death picks up the first kill. Forward it goes. Hype-NA. There's another kill for Radar. Everybody's on a rampage. CCG is cleaning house for free. They pick up 4 quick kills. Narc does get one on the back end, but Narc, your base is imploding by the instant.
Well, you know what? At this point in the game, you take the 2 for 4. That's kind of worth for Redacted, but I don't know if it's gonna matter.
Yeah, they're going for the end right now, folks. Detro, they're shutting down. Narc will not be able to find a trade kill going. Golden, the turret goes down. Detro is just toying with his food. Rock Boom claims that kill, and we are heading towards a series win. They're just going to tease around, but the Nexus will fall. CCG sweep Redacted to claim their first week win of the ACL.
I mean, what else can you say about this CCG team? They give you a show. They're going to play hard early, and they may die a few times too while doing it, but they're going to get ahead, and they're going to push their advantage every way they can, and they're going to come out on top with a 2-0. That's exactly what they did here, off the back of an incredible performance in both games from Radar.
Yeah, Radar was such a big standout, and I believe this is. Do we crown now? Or do we wait to crown?
Are there any voters?
Award? Are there any voters? I'm pretty sure we can crown, but I guess we can have a discussion, K-Man. But
all right, I mean, we can talk about. I mean, yeah, because it's not like a super clear, obvious choice. Because I think
it isn't.
Both games. I mean, Topo performed very impressively on the Poppy.
Yeah.
Even the TP plays to save the team came in clutch. And he didn't get, you know, it's just things you don't get credit for that like make you a great player sometimes, you know. No KDA gained on the TP plays. And then Hive, right? Just constantly just in the enemy jungle, just hounding the Udyr. And even though kind of got behind at certain points, still ended up out farming incredibly, and massive Kindred ults during fights to keep the team alive, keep themselves alive, and pumped out incredible amounts of damage. And then, you know, look at anybody else. Keep going. Take it away. You got other stuff.
I mean, Detro definitely started out the series questionably with his little flash escapade, but had some very, very solid hooks down the line. His Pyke was as squirmy as you expect that fish to be, and set up pretty well for Rock Boom. You already highlighted Rock Boom. Yeah, but at the end of the day, folks, it's Radar. I mean, we're just toying around at this point. Radar is the MVP.
It's hard to not give it to Radar because, like, you look at Rock Boom and, like, yeah, the Draven game popped off 100%, sure. But game one of Aphelios got behind, wasn't able to really do a whole lot or make a whole big of an impact. And sure, when you look at ADCs that don't really pop off until late game, it's hard to say like their impact because he did his job, right? He was consistently putting out damage. As an ADC, that's all you really ever need to do. And so he did that Aphelios game, and then he really popped off on the Draven game. But somebody who was constantly making plays game 1 and game 2, and not to mention this game 2 just started and ended with Radar one-shotting everyone. He's got to give it to Radar.
Yeah, so the award goes to Radar for this series. Congratulations, and it's a little special treat to all you viewers at home. We're going to go to one more quick break, and on the other side, have a bit of a chat with Radar about his MVP performance in Week 2 of the ACL. So stick with us one more time. We'll be back with a special treat.